I'm Michael Pusillo, Chairman of the Palm Beach Civic Association. We hope you are enjoying the Palm Beach Civic Association's news programming. If you are a member of the Civic Association, we thank you for your support. If you're not a member, please consider becoming a member so you can support this programming as well as enjoy other benefits of membership in the Palm Beach Civic Association. Go to our website, palmbeachcivic.org, for more information on our tax-deductible membership levels.
The Palm Beach Civic Association brings you Palm Beach TV, the island's only newscast. We're sponsored by the Fortin Foundation of Florida. Our mission is to inform town residents about the unique challenges of island life and to highlight the actions and achievements of our leaders and the dynamic people who live here. Now the news.
Welcome to Palm Beach TV. I'm Claudia Shea. If you've been to the beach lately, you have certainly noticed a larger than usual amount of seaweed all along our coastline. Yes, it's unsightly, but is it also dangerous to your health? And what's being done to control it? The Palm Beach Civic Association turned to experts for answers. To fully understand the wide-reaching scope of sargassum, which is a brown seaweed that floats in massive mats in the ocean, you must look well beyond the Florida coastline. NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, is one of many agencies using satellite imagery to monitor the movement of a 5,000-mile seaweed belt that is creeping closer to our Florida coastline. In fact, some sargassum has already started washing ashore along our beaches.
All of a sudden, it's just starting to pick up, and you're seeing just blogs, so much of it out there now that's just coming in. It's crazy.
Well, this seasonal phenomenon is picking up and is more noticeable now. Expect to see the rate and volume increase over the next few months.
To manage or control major accretions of sargassum on town beaches, with particular attention to the what we call the jetty area.
The town of Palm Beach is prepared and, like last year, has permitting in place to rake public beaches at Midtown and Phipps twice a week, and new this year, also the north end of the island from Angler Avenue north to the jetty, where excessive amounts of seaweed collect.
It gets caught in the structures, like in the jetties or the groins. So the far north end is where you see it collect the most because of the long jetty that sticks out like a finger that kind of grabs the seaweed as it's floating in.
This is what the north end looked like last year at the peak when thick mats of sargassum washed ashore.
It wouldn't be surprising if we see something like this towards July, August, into September, towards the later part of the season.
The seaweed is only raked along the wet portions of the beach to avoid and protect sea turtle nests that are primarily located higher on the beach along the dry portions.
We have our sea turtle monitors that are out every single day since March 1st, and they basically scour out the shoreline all 12.2 miles of the town every single day. Some of those stakes don't necessarily mean that it's a turtle nest there. It means that is a guide for our beach raker to stay on the seaward side of those stakes.
Raked piles of seaweed along the island are safely buried in the sand.
It's decaying in place, decomposing in place, and it's still providing a benefit to the ecosystem.
You may wonder why the sargassum is not collected before it reaches the shoreline. Well, it's a floating habitat, and for that reason there are limitations put in place by state and federal agencies.
One of them is you cannot trawl and move seaweed away because it provides habitat to juvenile sea turtles.
Health experts say while the sargassum is in the ocean, it doesn't pose any real threat to humans. The concern comes in after it washes ashore and begins decaying. According to the Florida Department of Health, rotting sargassum creates the production of hydrogen sulfide gas, which smells like rotten eggs and can irritate the eyes, nose, and throat. You should also avoid physical contact with it, as tiny organisms that live in the seaweed or plastic and other debris caught up in it may scratch or irritate your skin. But what about media reports of flesh-eating bacteria called Vibrio vulnificus in seaweed? Well, apparently they were taken out of context. According to to a premier researcher involved in the FAU study referenced by the media, researchers analyzed sargassum samples from the Caribbean and Sargasso Seas. While they did identify Vibrio bacteria, they did not find V. vulnificus, the only Vibrio species ever known to cause necrotizing fasciitis, which destroys human tissue. Still, there are risks of other bacterial infections. The Florida Department of Health, which was not involved in the FAU study but is monitoring the sargassum situation, points out there are different types of Vibrio that can develop in the sargassum as it deteriorates. It is dangerous, but only when it comes in direct contact with the bloodstream, either through an open wound or oral consumption. It is safe to go to the beach, just avoid direct contact with decomposing seaweed. The bottom line, say health experts, practice caution and respect nature.
I just stay away from it, actually, you know. I go in the ocean every day, and I just sit out here and enjoy the ocean. So no, it doesn't bother me.
Expect to see the seaweed continuing to wash ashore through the end of summer and even into the fall, at which time we should start to see a decrease. On behalf of the Palm Beach Civic Association, thank you so much for joining us.
Palm Beach TV is a production of the Palm Beach Civic Association. We thank our sponsor, the Fortin Foundation of Florida, and encourage you, our viewers, to let us know how we can provide news coverage that best serves our members and residents.